Directly above the ever-growing memorial where Nipsey Hussle was killed are 3 security cameras pointing directly at the scene.
A rap star on the rise killed during a violent home invasion in the Hollywood Hills this morning.
The plane, just after taking off for Florida in perfect weather, suddenly plummeted to the ground, and a talented singer and actress.
Triumph is occasionally not the end point, but rather the fleeting moment preceding destiny's intervention. Some artists, upon achieving their zenith, upon savoring victory, encounter tragedy. A gunshot, an overdose of sleeping pills, a devastating accident. These arrive unanticipated, stealing away exceptional talents at the peak of their prowess. Luminaries shining intensely vanish in a flash, leaving behind profound sorrow. The 15 names we are about to list are connected to 15 poignant narratives. Who were they? What transpired at the time of their passing? Watch this video to find out and prepare yourself, for the reality is more stark than you can envision. 1. Tupac Shakur, a legend tragically lost in a violent conflict. Tupac Shakur, a rapper, cultural icon, street fighter, and the voice of a marginalized generation. His raw talent propelled him from poverty to the pinnacle of hip-hop success. His 1996 album, All Eyes on Me, was a powerful and masterful work. It sold over 1,000 copies in its first week, achieving 5 times platinum status. His music became iconic and influential. Tupac himself became a legendary figure, but his success was shadowed by threats and unseen foes who hunted him. He knew he was a target. Sadly, he could not evade his fate. Las Vegas, September 7th, 1996. The city that never sleeps, bright lights, bustling casinos. Tupac attended Mike Tyson's boxing match, unaware it would be his final night. After the fight, he and his death row associates had a conflict with Orlando Anderson, a Crip gang member. A single punch escalated into a brief, intense brawl. This short fight tragically determined Tupac's destiny. At 10:55 p.m., Tupac was riding in Suge Knight's BMW, traveling along Flamingo and Caval. A white Cadillac pulled alongside. 12 shots were fired. 4 bullets hit Tupac. He collapsed in his seat. The BMW sped away amid shouts, but it was too late. Rushed to the hospital, Tupac fought for life for 6 days, but fate was inescapable. On September 13, 1996, Tupac Shakur died. The hip-hop world was stunned. His death remains one of music's most enduring enigmas. Who ordered the assassination? Gang retaliation? A clandestine plot? Or was it simply the fate of a destined legend? The answers remain elusive, yet his narrative persists. His name continues to symbolize an immortal icon. 2. The late Pop Smoke, a rapidly rising rap star, met a tragic end. More than just a musician, he resonated deeply with a whole generation. Hailing from Brooklyn's challenging neighborhoods, his distinctive rough voice transformed drill rap into a worldwide sensation. His 2019 track, Welcome to the Party, catapulted him from obscurity to fame. His mixtapes, Meet the Woo and Meet the Woo 2, solidified his position in the rap scene. While the world anticipated his debut album, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, which was poised for enormous success, a devastating turn of events occurred. On the night of February 19, 2020, the Hollywood Hills were deceptively tranquil. Yet, within a luxurious mansion, a horrific incident unfolded. Pop Smoke, having shared party photos online, was unknowingly under surveillance. At approximately 5 a.m., assailants appeared. A group of armed individuals forced their way inside. A brief struggle ensued, followed by gunfire. Upon arrival, police found Pop Smoke fatally wounded, his life tragically cut short. The news sent shockwaves through the music industry. A gifted 20-year-old artist on the verge of legendary status was brutally murdered. However, Pop Smoke's legacy endured. His album, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, released posthumously, achieved phenomenal success. Hits like Dior, The Woo, and For the Night dominated the charts. Pop Smoke's aspirations lived on through his enduring music. His songs continue to resonate with listeners. 3. Chadwick Boseman, Wakanda's fallen warrior. In 2018, the world proclaimed Wakanda Forever as Black Panther debuted. Chadwick Boseman became a symbol, a cinematic king, a real-life warrior. Yet, fame wasn't effortless. Pre-Black Panther, he struggled for minor roles, Hollywood's limited opportunities for black actors. When his chance arrived, he grasped it fully. Then, Avengers. Endgame premiered in 2019, breaking box office records. Chadwick Boseman ascended to superstardom. But unbeknownst to the cheering world, he fought a personal battle exceeding any Marvel challenge. In 2016, as his career soared, Chadwick received devastating news. Stage 3 colon cancer. For many, it's insurmountable. For him, another fight. Only his family and select confidants knew. Chadwick continued filming, performing intense action sequences, maintaining that radiant smile at premieres. During Black Panther's production, he endured pain silently. While filming Spike Lee's D5 Bloods in 2020, his physique noticeably thinned, but none suspected the truth. He chose silence. No complaints, yet fate was unrelenting. On August 28, 2020, the world was stunned by the news. Chadwick Boseman had passed. He departed quietly, mirroring his 4-year battle. Chadwick filmed Black Panther, Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame, 21 Bridges, Daw 5 Bloods, and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, all while battling cancer. No one witnessed the behind-the-scenes chemotherapy, the sleepless nights of pain. No one knew that his portrayals of strength and resilience were his reality. Chadwick Boseman passed at 43, but his legacy endures. He didn't just portray a king, he was a king to his fans. A man who fought until his last breath, not only for himself, but an entire generation. Wakanda forever transcends a movie slogan. It's a tribute, a global cry for the man who fulfilled millions of dreams. 4. Nipsey Hussle, a neighborhood legend. Tragically killed at the height of his success. He was far more than just a rapper. He was a true fighter from the streets of Los Angeles. Born into the challenging Crenshaw district, he rose from humble beginnings to the top tier of the rap world. In 2018, Victory Lap propelled him into the mainstream, earning him a Grammy nomination. However, at the zenith of his career, fate intervened in a devastating way. In Los Angeles, on the afternoon of 3/31/2019, Nipsey Hussle was outside his Marathon clothing store, a business he founded to revitalize the Crenshaw community. Unbeknownst to anyone, this was to be his last day. A person he knew, Eric Holder, approached. They briefly spoke, and Holder left. Nipsey seemed unconcerned, but moments later, Holder returned, armed. Gunfire erupted. Nipsey fell in front of his store. Pandemonium ensued. Fans, employees, and onlookers rushed to his side. Everyone expected him to survive, as he had overcome countless obstacles in his life. Yet this was different. Upon arrival, paramedics found him still alive. At the hospital, all hope vanished. Nipsey Hussle passed away at age 33, just over a year after Victory Lap catapulted him to stardom. Los Angeles was stunned. Nipsey was a symbol of community pride, leveraging his fame to mentor young people, support local businesses, and invest in education. His death was not only a loss for the music industry, it profoundly impacted an entire generation. His memorial service filled the Staples Center, a venue that has hosted iconic figures like Michael Jackson. Over 21,000 people attended, with millions more watching virtually. While his life was cut short, his music continues to inspire. His legacy lives on in the hearts of millions. A single bullet ended his life, but not his legendary status. 5. Florence Griffith Joyner, the unparalleled speedster. A legend lost too soon, yet her legacy endures. Florence Griffith Joyner, or FloJo, was the epitome of speed, style, and record-breaking achievements. During the 1988 Olympic Games, she dominated, smashing global records in the 100 and 100 clocking 10.49 seconds, and the 200 and 1,000 finishing in 21.34 seconds, marks that remain unbeaten for over 30 years. However, FloJo's impact transcended mere speed. She transformed the track into a dazzling spectacle, captivating audiences with her vibrant attire, striking nail art, and magnetic personality. She reigned as a queen, a legend, a timeless source of motivation. Then, unexpectedly, tragedy struck. September 21st, 1998. An ordinary morning became FloJo's last. The previous night, she appeared perfectly healthy, full of life. There were no warning signs, she simply slept. And she never awoke. A seizure led to her death by suffocation in her sleep. Upon discovery by her family, it was already too late. The news of Flojo's passing sent shockwaves through the world. A champion with no significant health issues, a star at the pinnacle of her career. Her sudden passing prompted numerous questions. Allegations of doping circulated, yet no evidence ever materialized. Some suggested her intense training regime caused irreparable harm, but no definitive conclusions were reached. One certainty remained. Florence Griffith Joyner was gone, leaving behind unequaled records and an irreplaceable void in the hearts of her devoted fans. 6. Otis Reading, a golden voice silenced by winter's chill. Otis Reading, the iconic soul singer, possessed a voice that captivated audiences worldwide. Born to humble beginnings in Georgia, he leveraged his emotive vocal talent to transcend his impoverished upbringing. This potent gift propelled his career. However, it was the 1967 Monterey Pop Festival that solidified his legendary status. His performances ignited the crowd. Hits such as Try a Little Tenderness and Respect elevated him to stardom, yet destiny cruelly shortened his time in the spotlight. On December 7, 1967, Otis entered a Memphis recording studio. Unbeknownst to all, it would be his final session. He recorded Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, a song markedly different from his previous fiery numbers. Serene, introspective, almost prescient. He even added a whistled coda, a haunting detail that became his musical swan song. 3 days later, December 10, 1967, a frigid winter's day, Otis and his band embarked on a flight aboard a Beechcraft H-18 to Madison, Wisconsin for a concert. The sky was overcast. Heavy snow fell. Gale force winds buffeted the plane. Despite the perilous conditions, the pilot initiated takeoff. The aircraft ascended into the raging blizzard, fighting against the elements. Unaware of their impending doom, they flew on. At 4:00 p.m., contact was lost. 7 minutes later, a devastating crash shattered the silence. The plane plummeted into Lake Monona, disintegrating on impact. The freezing water consumed all within seconds. When rescuers arrived, they recovered only lifeless bodies. Otis Redding, a star at the zenith of his career, was now at rest in the icy depths of winter. A lucky charm remained on his wrist, yet fate's cruel hand prevailed. When Sitting on the Dock of the Bay was released in January 1968, it became an immediate classic. It achieved the unprecedented feat of reaching #1 on the Billboard charts posthumously. People sang along, weeping to its melody, but Otis Redding was not there to witness it. 7. Sam Cooke, a brilliant luminary, tragically perished by gunfire. Sam Cooke was an iconic American musical figure. He was more than a gifted vocalist. He represented a movement. A pioneering artist who transcended limitations, propelling soul and R&B to unprecedented levels of success. From You Send Me to Wonderful World, he reigned supreme on the charts. His masterpiece, however, was A Change Is Gonna Come, a song that presaged social upheaval, conveying sorrow, yearning, and optimism. He had just recorded it, poised for a radiant future, when fate delivered an unforeseen catastrophe. 11 December 1964. Sam Cooke checked into the Hacienda Motel in Los Angeles. This night was fated. Reports indicate he was with an unfamiliar woman. Yet, why would a prosperous, celebrated star be at a dilapidated, inexpensive motel? The answer remains elusive. Later that night, a gunshot shattered the stillness. Upon arrival, police discovered Cooke lifeless on the motel floor, only in a bathrobe. He had suffered a chest wound. The alleged shooter, Bertha Franklin, the motel's manager, asserted self-defense. She stated Cooke violently pounded on her door and assaulted her, but suspicions lingered. A man like Cooke, with global recognition, losing control so dramatically seemed improbable. The investigation concluded swiftly. Authorities accepted Franklin's account and that of the enigmatic woman with Cooke, Elisa Boyer. Boyer claimed he coerced her to the motel, but she escaped and contacted law enforcement. Subsequently, Boyer faced arrest for prostitution, raising questions. Was Cooke ensnared in a plot? Was his death orchestrated? A thorough inquiry never transpired. The inconsistencies were ignored. Sam Cooke died at 33. He did not witness "A Change Is Gonna Come" become a revolutionary anthem or experience the profound effect he had on countless lives. Perhaps justice was denied, the truth forever concealed, but his legacy persists. 8. Bernie Mac. A life cut short. A fading light. Bernie Mac, the iconic Hollywood comedian, brought joy to countless viewers. From a Chicago childhood in impoverished areas, he transformed hardship into humor, turning a turbulent life into comedic gold. The Bernie Mac Show, running from 2001 to 2006, not only garnered him an Emmy, but secured his legendary status. Blockbusters such as Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, and Ocean's 13 further cemented his irreplaceable position in Hollywood. At 50, Bernie Mac was a comedic giant, but his fall was swift and unexpected. At the peak of his success, while the spotlight shone brightly and applause echoed, a silent threat emerged. Sarcoidosis, a stealthy disease, had been silently weakening him for years. Bernie always projected strength, never revealing fatigue to his fans. However, illness is impartial. It disregarded his pride. By 2008, his health deteriorated rapidly. In July, severe pneumonia complications led to hospitalization. Few anticipated this would be his final struggle. Bernie had overcome numerous challenges. Why was this different? Destiny had already decided his fate. On August 9, 2008, Bernie Mac passed away in the hospital just weeks before his film, Soul Man, was to premiere. It said, "A comedian's laughter lives on." But this loss is undeniable. Hollywood was shocked. Friends, colleagues, and fans were heartbroken at Bernie Mac's passing. 50 years of life, over 30 years in comedy. Bernie Mac's journey ended prematurely, with much left undone. He laughed. He made the world laugh. Ironically, his life ended quietly, just as his laughter reached its zenith. 9. Aaliyah, her wings newly unfurled, fell from the azure sky. Aaliyah was a music phenomenon. At 15, she captivated audiences with "Age Ain't Nothing But a Number," released in 1994. By 18, "One in a Million," released in 1996, had made her a global superstar. In 2000, "Try Again" made her the first woman to top the Billboard Hot 100 chart based entirely on digital downloads. She ventured into Hollywood, dazzling in "Romeo Must Die" and preparing for more major films. In 2001, her self-titled third album confirmed her reign in R&B. Yet, as her career soared, destiny intervened. August the 25th, 2001. The Bahamian sky was pristine, the sun reflecting on the ocean's surface. Aaliyah had just finished filming her "Rock the Boat" music video. She was vibrant, eager to return and continue her triumphs, but the small plane awaiting her would become her demise. The Cessna 402B was insufficient for the passengers and their baggage. The crew warned of overloading, but everyone was keen to go home. The pilot started the engines. 3:45 p.m. The plane ascended. Moments after takeoff, it shuddered violently. The engines made an unnatural roar. Then it nosedived. An explosion tore through the air. The Cessna crashed, igniting in flames. When the smoke cleared, it was finished. Aaliyah, R&B's most radiant star, couldn't escape. She perished at 22 with the world still embracing her. The news was devastating. It was unbelievable. Aaliyah once sang, "If at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again." But fate offered no second chance. Years later, Aaliyah's legacy endures in the hearts of her fans because, as she sang, "You are that one in a million." 10. The gifted Donny Hathaway, a musical prodigy, met a tragic end. His talent was unparalleled. He didn't merely sing, but embodied each song's emotion. A Chicago native with gospel roots, Hathaway possessed a captivating voice, smooth, soulful, intensely expressive. In 1972, his duet with Roberta Flack, "Where Is the Love," topped charts, earning a Grammy and establishing him as a soul legend. His 1973 album, Extension of a Man, displayed his brilliance, notably with "Someday We'll All Be Free," a hopeful anthem ironically contrasting his personal struggles. A hidden battle raged, unseen by most. By the early 1970s, Hathaway exhibited troubling symptoms. He heard imaginary voices tormented by unseen entities. Doctors diagnosed him with paranoid schizophrenia. Depression overwhelmed him, crushing the sensitive artist's spirit. Music, once his refuge, failed to pull him from despair in the late 1970s. Recording sessions ceased, performances were canceled, and friends, colleagues, even Roberta Flack, helplessly watched his decline. On January 13, 1979, Hathaway met with musicians in New York to discuss a new project, a potential comeback. Yet, mid-meeting, he spoke of voices in his head. These phantom sounds intensified, overwhelming him with terror. That evening, he returned to his Essex House hotel room. At the 15th floor window, he gazed at the city lights, a world continuing its motion. But for him, it had seemingly ceased. Around 11 p.m., Donny Hathaway plunged from the window. Found at the building's base, his body was lifeless, yet his music endures. His death devastated the music world. Roberta Flack mourned, friends were shocked, fans devastated. In 1973, he sang "Someday We'll All Be Free." Was his only escape found in death? He died at 33, his career flourishing, his music still needed. A voice meant to comfort millions couldn't ultimately save itself. 11. Lisa Left Eye Lopes, a brilliant artist whose life ended tragically in an accident. Lisa Left Eye Lopes wasn't merely a member of TLC, she was its essence. With her vibrant personality, distinctive style, and sharp rap delivery, she became a 1990s R&B legend. TLC sold tens of millions of albums, topping charts with Crazy Sexy Cool 1994 and Fan Mail 1999, solidifying their place in music history. However, fame brought its challenges, the pressures of celebrity, internal conflicts, and personal struggles. Lisa continuously sought an escape. She desired a new beginning, a fresh chapter. That's why she traveled to Honduras. But nobody anticipated it would be her last. Honduras wasn't simply a vacation spot. It was where Lisa felt a mystical energy. She practiced meditation, explored spirituality, and wrote in her diary. Yet unsettling events unfolded. Weeks before the accident, a young boy was struck and killed by her car. The incident deeply affected her. She wrote about sensing a watchful spirit. She started believing she would be next. And then it happened. On the afternoon of April 25, 2002, a Mitsubishi Montero Sport sped down a Honduran dirt road. Lisa was driving with friends as passengers. The wind rushed through the windows, the sun shone brightly. Abruptly, a dark object appeared in the road. She reacted instinctively, swerving sharply. The car lost control. A devastating crash ensued. The Montero overturned, its metal twisting, dust erupting into the air. 6 passengers survived. Only Lisa was ejected. She wasn't wearing a seatbelt. She was the sole fatality. At 30, at the peak of her career, she passed away, leaving an irreplaceable void. TLC never recovered its former glory after that day. The final footage Lisa filmed before her death, her last moments in Honduras, was later featured in the 2007 documentary The Last Days of Left Eye. It foreshadowed the end she sensed was approaching. Lisa once stated, "We never truly die. We simply leave this world to enter another." She may be gone, but Left Eye's spirit continues to inspire. 12. The death of Phyllis Hyman occurred just before a scheduled performance. Phyllis Hyman possessed a unique vocal quality. Her rich, potent alto, brimming with feeling, established her as a prominent figure in R&B and jazz music. Her 1979 album, You Know How to Love Me, captivated listeners, showcasing her appeal and skill in every musical phrase. Beyond her musical career, she excelled on Broadway, captivating audiences in sophisticated theatrical productions. Throughout the 1990s, her vocal prowess remained exceptional. She continued to be a celebrated artist. She achieved significant success, fame, a thriving career, and countless admirers. However, one crucial element was missing from her life: serenity. Beneath her captivating voice lay a troubled spirit. Phyllis Hyman didn't merely strive for continued success, she battled inner demons. Stress, isolation, and failed relationships contributed to persistent emotional pain. Then, immediately before a crucial performance, her struggles culminated in tragedy. In New York City on June 30th, 1995, no one foresaw that it would be Phyllis Hyman's last day. That morning she awoke, still preparing for her show at the Apollo Theater. But internally, a fateful decision had been made. Months of grappling with depression, loneliness, and overwhelming pressure had reached a breaking point. That afternoon, as daylight waned, Phyllis returned to her residence. She closed the door, poured a glass of wine, and had a container of sleeping pills. She then penned her final message, unchangeable by anyone. Upon discovery, the wine glass remained untouched, the pill container was empty, and a suicide note lay on the table. In it, she described her exhaustion and irreparably damaged state. That evening, the Apollo Theater was full. The audience eagerly anticipated an extraordinary performance. They were unaware that their cherished singer had passed away. When the news emerged, the music industry was shocked. Phyllis Hyman died at age 45. People questioned whether she could have persevered, whether she would have overcome that day, and how much longer she could have performed. Yet there are no hypothetical scenarios. Only profound sorrow persists. 13. The Notorious B.I.G.'s death, a tragic end to a brilliant career. The Notorious B.I.G. was a hip-hop giant, an East Coast icon, a legend born in Brooklyn's tough streets. His deep, warm voice and incredibly skilled rapping style transformed street stories into enduring hits. His 1994 album, Ready to Die, catapulted him to legendary status. But this was merely the start. Life After Death, released in 1997, was a monumental achievement. A double album, a masterpiece set to propel him to unprecedented heights. Unfortunately, fate cruelly intervened. In Los Angeles on the night of March 8, 1997, a Vibe magazine and Quest Records party was underway. The room pulsed with hip-hop music and flashing cameras. Biggie stood out, a king amongst his peers. He was acutely aware of the success awaiting him. Yet that night held a deadly ambush. After the party, Biggie and his associates departed the Peterson Hotel. They entered a Chevrolet Suburban driving through Los Angeles. Unbeknownst to them, they were heading into a fatal trap. At 12:30 a.m. on March 9, 1997, stopped at the Wilshire and South Fairfax intersection, a black Chevrolet Impala pulled alongside. A window descended and 4 shots rang out, targeting Biggie. Screams filled the air. The Suburban sped towards Cedars-Sinai Hospital. All efforts proved futile. At 1:15 a.m., the Notorious B.I.G. passed away. At only 24, his potential unrealized, he was gone. 2 weeks later, Life After Death was released. It didn't merely succeed, it achieved legendary status. The album went diamond, with hits like Hypnotize and Mo Money Mo Problems dominating the airwaves. But these weren't just songs. They were the legacy of a man lost too soon. The question of Biggie's killer persists. A hit linked to the East Coast-West Coast rivalry? Or something more complex? 27 years later, his death remains unsolved. However, one fact is undeniable. The Notorious B.I.G., his name will forever resonate in hip-hop history, an enduring star. 14. A bright star, Merlin Santana, tragically perished in a fatal accident. Merlin Santana was destined for greatness. Possessing an endearing smile and innate acting abilities, he captivated audiences effortlessly. His portrayal of Romeo Santana in The Steve Harvey Show propelled him to stardom. This popular sitcom aired from 1996 to 2002. Merlin became a teen heartthrob, a gifted black actor with boundless potential. The show's conclusion should have marked a new chapter. Larger films, more substantial roles, lucrative contracts awaited him. Yet, just months later, his life was abruptly cut short. On November 9, 2002, Los Angeles glittered, vibrant as ever. Merlin Santana left a gathering, entering a car with his friend Brandon Adams. They drove through the city streets, oblivious to the lurking danger, unknowingly becoming targets of a malicious act. Suddenly, a figure appeared from the shadows. Gunfire ripped through the night. A bullet pierced the car, instantly killing Merlin. His body collapsed, his life ebbing away. No one could respond. 15. Jose Dwayne Ricardo Onfroy. a rapidly rising star whose life was tragically cut short. He resonated deeply with a generation grappling with internal conflict and societal struggles. Originating on SoundCloud, he quickly transitioned to mainstream success with his album 17 Water, creating emotionally resonant music exploring themes of pain and existential questioning. His breakout hit, Sad, propelled him to immense fame, solidifying his position in the music industry. Just as his career reached new heights and a subsequent album release neared, tragedy struck. On the afternoon of June 18, 2018, the Florida heat was intense. XXXTentacion visited Riva Motorsports to purchase a motorcycle. Little did anyone know this would be his final moments of freedom. Upon exiting, an SUV blocked his path. Two individuals emerged from the vehicle. One brandished a firearm. There was no opportunity to respond. A gunshot rang out. XXXTentacion collapsed in his car. The announcement of his death stunned the world. A gifted 20-year-old artist at the peak of his powers was suddenly gone. Mourners filled the streets, playing his music and emotionally singing along to Sad, a song that eerily foreshadowed his demise. The loss was overwhelming and difficult to process. Yet, despite his physical absence, XXXTentacion's artistic legacy perseveres. Previously unreleased recordings continue to surface. His posthumous album, Skins, stands as a testament to his enduring impact on both the charts and the hearts of his devoted fan base. XXXTentacion's influence remains. These fatalities aren't simply losses. They serve as stark reminders of life's inherent fragility. Their passing at their zenith, under the global spotlight, has caused immense grief. Yet their influences endure. Whose loss affects you most profoundly? Please share your feelings in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on more captivating narratives from the realm of celebrity.